Dear readers, I know you've been waiting for like a couple weeks to hear the next installment.
Far too long.
In Matthew Jarzen, rebel yelling, dramatic readings of his amazing opinion pieces in his student newspaper. The most recent piece came out on the 12th, which is like a couple days ago. Oh, I need to pay my rent. Like tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah, you have time.
Alright. Isaac and I are going to read it for you dramatically.
How could we not?
Yeah. It's really good. I pre-read it. Up here. It's entitled, Modern Liberalism is Repackaged Totalitarianism. On Wednesday, September 30th, I, Matthew Jarzen, participated in a debate with some student Democrats. In my closing remarks, I said modern-day liberalism, or as I have dubbed it recently, stateism, is nothing more than repackaged monarchism, socialism, Marxism, fascism, Nazism, communism, and totalitarianism.
Needless to say, this has caused quite a stir among the statist Democrats with whom I was debating.
At UNLV.
Yeah, of course. I'm not at all shocked by their outrage either, as it was just the reaction I knew I would get from such a bold statement.
Continuing. But how could you demonize all liberals? I'm not at all demonizing your average liberal. I'm merely attacking the very heart of liberal ideology and what it really represents.
Does your average liberal doesn't believe in any of this? The first thing you need to do is get the notion of the liberals' compelling need to help the less fortunate out of your mind. That is merely a cover for what a liberal really seeks to achieve. Control.
Excuse me.
Trying to cover my reading?
No. Excuse me. Once you've accepted the fact that liberals aren't out to help people, but in fact seek to control them, cease referring to them as liberals and instead start calling them by the mechanism they use to achieve control over human beings. Again, I let history be my judge. For much of history, emperors, kings, Caesars, or czars headed most of the world's civilizations. These tyrants had to restrict the freedoms of their subjects to secure power for themselves.
This afforded those in power complete control of their people. It was slavery without the shackles on the hands and feet of subjects.
Except for when there were shackles, literally.
Well, right. Well, now, there's figurative ones now. It's different.
Whatever.
It's better range of motion. As monarchism fell throughout much of the world, new ideologies of human control emerged. Socialism and Marxism.
These ideologies only differed from monarchism because they changed the location of power. Also, crowns. Instead of being controlled by a singular entity, people were now controlled by other groups of people.
From those ideologies arose communism, a more extreme version of Marxism that uses the same principles. In the name of helping the people, it oppressed and controlled them.
Government controlled every aspect of the people's lives in the name of helping them. Government controlled the schools. Government controlled the schools in the name of educating people. Emphasis added.
Government forcibly took from those who had enough and gave it to those who did not, redistributing wealth. Boo. Government controlled the health of the people, deciding who should receive care and who should receive the medicine.
Sound familiar?
Oh! He's on fire. The first great experiment was in Russia, and that experiment lasted 70 years at the cost of 80 million lives.
During the 1920s and 1930s, another competitor came to the ideological battle for control of humans. Fascism. Fascism started in Italy but matured in Germany, where it transformed into Nazism. Nazism was or Nazism.
Nazism, yeah.
I say Nazism because there's only one I.
I think it's Nazism.
I think it's Nazism.
Well, we can agree to disagree on that one.
Okay, whatever. Wait till you get fucking Nazis in your paragraph. Nazism was what the Germans called fascism. What?
Complex.
Nazism was what the Germans called fascism, and under Adolf Hitler, it was formally called the National Socialist German Workers' Party.
Wow, that just reeks of conservatism, huh? Especially the socialist and workers part.
Yeah, conservatives don't work.
Yeah.
The only difference between fascism and German Nazism was the racial engineering aspect. Pretty much exactly the same. But what brings all these defeated ideologies together is what their intended goal actually was. Establish control over human beings through social re-engineering.
But the birth of the U.S. proved that humans have a yearning for freedom and liberty. In America, the same burnout monarchists and socialists reinvented themselves as well.
While others abroad created the harsh tyrannies that ushered in massacres, the totalitarians here in the U.S. had to take a different approach. Because we never killed anybody.
Americans would never accept a harsh tyranny, so they had to create a soft tyranny. A tyranny that could gradually get put into place over time and work to control one group of people after another.
I think you have to put soft tyranny on your list of band names.
Oh yeah, totally.
Such was the birth of modern-day liberal statism. It's totalitarianism with a smiley face.
Come on, get happy.
The Democratic Party has been the main catalyst for this brand of statism, though for a time Republicans did their fair share of the damage as well.
Soft tyranny, fuck yeah. Just look at all the liberal help the people policies. Government controls welfare, Social Security, Medicare, environmental policies, income taxes, labor unions, and much more.
Wait, labor unions?
Oh yeah, no, just arms of the government. Seriously.
AFL-CIO.
Government stooges, all of them.
Totally the fourth branch.
Absolutely.
Okay, all these policies have one thing in common. In order for them to succeed, the coercive force of government is necessary.
All these programs make the people dependent on the government for survival. Once these people have given up their freedom to the statist's promise of security, the statist has achieved their goal of control.
I merely have to point to the groups who have forsaken their freedom for the statist promise. Minorities. Let me read that to you again. He actually wrote this.
Should do this in slow-mo.
I have to point to the groups who have forsaken their freedom for the statist promise.
If the statists who debated me disagree with this article, I'm more than happy to sit down and debate it again. I'm waiting for their answer.
Matthew Jarzen. Out of the park. Again.
Class act, this guy?
Again.
Seriously?
Check it out at the unlvrebelyell.com. Wait, there's no the. Just Google that shit, you'll find it.